What does it mean to be involved with your child's learning at home? Is it helping your child with their homework each weeknight? Reading with your child each day? Practicing sight words? Yes, it can be all of these things. However, there are even more simple ways to help your child with their learning in everyday situations. In this video, we'll give you some ideas and examples of simple things you can do each day to help your child excel in school. Some of you may already be doing many things to help and you don't even realize it. Tip number 1. Have conversations with your child during everyday life situations and use as much language as you can. If you have children under the age of 6, use simple sentences such as, "You have an owl on your shirt." "Would you like to wear the green pants or the red ones?" "The cup is a circle." "We are going to the grocery store." Use every opportunity as a learning experience by talking to your child in whichever language you are most comfortable. Time to cross the street at the crosswalk. Don't forget to look both ways. Let's see how many steps it takes. 1, 2, 3, 4. These conversations can start at a very young age. Here's an example of a mom with a toddler describing her experiences teaching her child every day. "When I went to the store, people would either look at me like I was crazy or tell me how wonderful it was when I would talk to my baby. I would say things like, 'We like orange carrots because they have good vitamins,' or, 'Ooh, look at these round apples. Mommy is going to buy 1, 2, 3 apples.' When I would walk up or down the stairs, I would count them every time. When I would drive in the car, we would talk about what we see or we'd sing songs, like the alphabet song. My child is 3 now, and he helps me shop. He is reading some words already, talks all the time, knows his alphabet, colors, shapes, and can count items up to 20. I think it is all because of our experiences and conversations each day." Using language with your child at a very young age will help them develop the speaking and listening skills to get them ready for school. If you have older children, tell them about what you're thinking and what decisions you make and why. I think we should go in this line because the grocery carts are not too full." Tip number 2, get them to talk in complete sentences. When you ask them questions, instead of accepting a one-word answer, ask them, "Can you answer me in a complete sentence?" and model if necessary. For example, "What do you think we should make for dinner?" "Spaghetti." Can you say that in a complete sentence? "I think we should make spaghetti." "What do you think we need to buy for spaghetti?" "Noodles and sauce." How could you answer in a complete sentence? "We need to buy noodles and sauce." Eventually, this will become a habit and your child will be speaking in complete sentences regularly, which will help them tremendously in school, especially in writing. Tip number 3, limit screen time. If your children see you looking at a computer or TV screen a lot, they are going to do the same thing. Too often, parents rely on these devices to teach their children or keep them occupied. Please know that your attention is a much better teacher than any of these devices. Teachers expect their students to be able to write or discuss experiences, places they have been, or things that they do with their family. Some children only talk about TV shows, video games, and movies. Screen time must be limited so that your child can learn from real-life experiences. Make sure you're setting an example by reading in front of your children. The more they see you reading, the more they will want to read in their free time. Although some websites and games can help your child practice skills, screen time must be limited so your child can have real-life experiences. Tip number 4, make sure your child is reading and that you are reading with your child often. Parents should be reading to or with their children for about 15 minutes per day. If your child is a beginning reader, unless you have a lot of books on their reading level, you will probably be reading to them. With a new story, you could do what we call a picture walk. We don't read any of the words, and we only talk about the pictures and what is happening on the pictures of each page. A picture walk can help kids learn vocabulary and get clues from pictures to help them understand stories. You can ask questions like, what is happening in this picture? Or, how do you think the character's feeling? This is great for beginning and experienced readers. The pictures are there for a reason. Allow the kids to take some time to observe and think along with you. If you have a beginning reader, model how to track words. Make sure you move your finger under each word as you read. You can also have them try to find a word. I see an alligator. Can you find the word alligator on the page? For more experienced readers, practice a technique called skim and scan. As adults, we do this all the time when we read. When we look at articles, we often look at the bold print, tables of contents, or captions first. Encourage your child to do the same before they dive into reading at the top of the page. What kind of things should your child be reading? Books, newspapers, magazines, internet websites, recipes, directions, advertisements, and much more. Don't just read the pages to your children. Create discussions. Make reading a fun experience, as if you and your children are all learning and discovering things together. Tip number 5. Ask a lot of questions and make them explain their thinking. Model how you think as you read. This is what teachers call think aloud. When we read to our students, we say things like, what do you think will happen next? Or, I wonder how the character is going to solve this problem. Many times, parents ask questions that are too simple, like, what did the character do? Or, what is the character's name? Where does the story take place? Kids are expected to answer much more difficult questions that require them to think critically, such as, why do you think the character made that choice? What could the character have done differently? How did the character change throughout the story? Tip number 6. Practice writing in everyday life situations. Some examples are letters, journal entries, email messages, grocery lists, wish lists, labeling pictures, thank you notes, stories. If your child is just beginning to write, have them practice writing their name and their letters. Show them how to form letters and the correct way to hold a pencil. Have them draw pictures to tell a story. Beginning writers naturally use a strategy us teachers call inventive spelling. This is when they write the sounds that they hear for each word that they don't know. As a parent, it can be really difficult to read what your little one is trying to write. It's okay. Ask them if they can help you read it. Try your best to read it with them. Don't discourage inventive spelling or other errors like backwards letters or random upper and lowercase letters. Many students are intimidated to write because their parents want each word to be spelled perfectly. You want them to foster a love of writing instead of being scared to put anything on the page. If your child is a more experienced writer, use every opportunity to get them writing. Lists are a great way to practice writing. They could help you make a grocery list, a list of chores, or a list of things they want for their birthday. Even if your child is more experienced at writing, they could still be using inventive spelling. But if you're seeing a repeating mistake, such as starting sentences with a lowercase letter or no punctuation, try having them focus on one correction at a time until they master that skill, instead of pointing out all of their mistakes. Again, you want them to feel comfortable with writing at this young age. Journal entries are a really great way to connect to your child. One parent gave their child a composition book and taught her how to write a journal entry each day after school. Then, the mom would write a response at the bottom and they would read it together before bedtime. This helped the mom get to know what was going on in her child's day-to-day life, and their child practiced writing at the same time. In summary, here are 6 helpful ways to be more involved with your child's learning at home. Have conversations with your child during everyday situations and use as much language as you can. Have your child answer you in complete sentences. Limit screen time. Make sure your child is reading and that you are reading with your child often. Ask a lot of questions and make them explain their thinking. Practice writing in everyday life situations. You can find this video along with other helpful resources at www.esolwoodland.edublogs.org. Thanks for watching!